And I think I'm live. I think. But I don't think I have audio. I am not sure. Let's see. Show chat. Don't know why. Okay, now I should be able to hear. Yes, I can hear. Cool. Okay, so I wanted to start a stream, a live stream tonight, and talk about how do you find a Bigfoot or Sasquatch or slash Sasquatch. Hi, Renee. Hi, Bobby. Yeah, so I never had a problem finding Bigfoot, Sasquatch, but I know a lot of people that want to see one or have an encounter with one. Hi, 1B Tech. Mr. Lurks a lot. How's it going? Yeah, so I really never had a problem. It almost seems like everywhere I go, there's a Bigfoot. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, it's Saturday night. Time for some fun, huh? A little bit of fun on the Saturday night, talking about my favorite subject. Almost. My favorite subject is God, but we'll save that for another day. Hi, MK Ultra. What you doing? Hey, I've been doing good, Rachel. Really good. I've been in there. I just don't see you, I guess. I don't know why. I was watching. I was watching MK Ultra, and he's working on a truck. I think I can't remember the name of it, but he's tearing it down. I noticed he got the exhaust manifold off and the intake manifold. And I think long as they're not cracked, I think you're good. Just new gaskets, it looks like clean it all up and put it on, man. I'm excited for that. I really am. Okay, so let's see. Saved by the Zone. Yay! Mornings, yeah, see, I don't do mornings, or my wife doesn't do mornings. So, we're always there probably 2 hours before the place closes. Been enthralled with this Gabby Petito case, old Chevy step van. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, that I'm kind of enthralled with that too. I'm not following it really that much, so it hurts my heart to think what might have happened. And the guy, he makes it home, and the first thing he does is go quiet and lawyer up. So right away, that tells me the guy ain't good, and so I'm a little bit sad about that, And then the step van, keep posting the pictures and stuff, man. I love it. I love working on cars, and all my life I always was making things better. At least I thought. Like if I had to do what you're doing, I would be putting on, a 4-barrel, or I know it's a 6-cylinder, but whatever I could do to a 6-cylinder, like put headers and whatever, I would be doing it. I love that stuff. I know it seems weird, but I just get into it, get into the cars. I had a Chevy 1-ton with a 454 in it, and it was a 80, I think it was 85, and the timing went out on it, timing belt or timing chain went off on it and the harmonic balancer. So, I had to take all that stuff off in the front, and I decided I was, going to change the cams since I had it all down to that, and put some RV cams in it, so it had a little more pulling power. And then I went with titanium push rods and roller rockers and double timing chain, and then headers, and then I had a drill for the oxygen for emissions, so so the smog pump and everything would work on it. So I drilled the holes in the headers and set it all up, put glass packs, dual exhaust going straight back, put glass packs right behind, like right up under the driver and passenger. And then towards the back, I put Flow Masters, and that thing went like crazy. I had so much fun with it. And it was painted, I guess a rodeo guy owned it before me. One owner, I was the second owner, but he really ran it, real hard, towing horses. And everybody, it was painted kind of cool, all custom paint, custom insides. And everybody thought I was a race car driver or something because of the way it would haul. It was so fun, man. Yeah, thank you. That is cool. I never think to do that. Ask those, I don't have too many T-shirts yet, but I have some stuff on. I have some stuff on the way. You can bet. I sure do. So let's see. You talked about putting a V6 Vortec. That would be kind of cool. That would be really cool. The inline six, you're gonna like it better. They get better gas mileage. They actually have more pulling power than a V6. Believe it or not, the straight sixes they're bulletproof, man. They're the go-to engine in a lot of trucks for a long time. So I would stick with that. I really would. So, hey, Murray, what's up? And the chat's flying, and I'm missing people probably, huh? Let me see. No, not too bad. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about how to find the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, in no matter where you live at. There's things you can do that are that most of it is just getting out, going somewhere. Quick dry shirts. I will I'm going to ask about that. I'll ask about the quick dry shirts. Maritime applications. Oh, that's interesting. That means it would be even more bulletproof. I agree, Murray. One of the first things you want to do when you're out, when you're going to go looking for them, or you just you go camping a lot, or you like to go out on day trips and stuff like that, and go fishing, things like that, camping. One of the first things you want to do is go to the BFRO site and look for sightings in your area or close by you, and then try to, if there's any like groups or multiple sightings in a certain area, that would be one of my first camp trips or day trips, would be to that area, and then start looking for structures, tracks, sign that there's something around there that's Bigfoot, Sasquatch type thing. Hey, Bama, how are you tonight? Miss Bama. I'll never forget. It's Miss Bama. Yes. And I do think they are everywhere. And so like that would be in where in so there have been some in Waterton Lakes National Park. Is that what Nat National Park? And Cypress Hills, but long ago. That doesn't mean they're not there now. It means that, well, unless the government took them out, because I'm starting to find that the government will use the same information that we use to find them, and then they eradicate them. And I don't know if it's because maybe they're bad, or if the government doesn't want us to know something about them that we should know. And I mean, we should know. I mean, that's one of the things that I haven't watched it in a while, but the Steve Isdall guy, How to Hunt guy, I kind of, I applaud him for doing what he's doing. He's putting his butt out on the line right now. And when you start taking on this topic and you start rocking the boat, the government will mess with you. I mean, Jeffrey and I have been followed. We find, we start getting reports, and then we start go checking it out, and then we put it online, and then the next thing you know, the places are closed, they're fenced off, there's soldiers seen in the area. Just it just starts getting where your phone gets tapped. It almost, it's like, what is it that is about these things that they go and do that? And some of it seems like maybe it might be for our safety. I'm not so sure. Hey, Gladys, how are you? Croatan National Forest. Doing a trip to Croatan National Forest in 2 weeks. Coastal lowlands, swamp kind of terrain, quite a few sightings in the area. Fairly near where that 3-year-old went missing and then was found by and said he was saved by a bear. Yeah. I never met a bear yet, except for Baloo on TV or the movies, that ever had any kind of anything to do with humans besides eat them. But only the same thing, bro, is okay. Now, once you locate an area, okay, now we talked about how to find them, and looks like everybody's right on the money on that one. How to find an area. The first thing you want to do is go in there, and I know it seems silly and it seems like a Finding Bigfoot thing, but it works almost every time. If there is a Bigfoot in the area, they cannot resist, for some reason, responding to wood knocks. And I've had them respond in 15 minutes of coming into an area where we just drove in and we were unpacking everything, and then walk over and smack the tree a couple times. And within 15 minutes, they were hollering and hooting, and there was 3 of them at this one place. And it lets you know they're there. And then it also will bring them in, like later, if you stay the night, they'll come in. And normally I don't feel like I'm in a lot of trouble or anything, or there's going to be any danger, but they will mess with you. They'll go around the camp making animal sounds, bird calls. Sometimes you'll hear your name being called. If you go in, now once you found an area and you go there regularly or often, they'll even call your name. And that's a little bit unnerving. Hey, Flat Rock Booger, any idea why they are showing themselves more than 5 or 10 years ago? I have no idea yet, but I'm working on it. And that also goes with where where I live at. I don't know about everybody else. Well, I kind of do know about everybody else a little bit, that they're going more closer to populated areas. And down here, they in the last 5 years or so, the sightings are getting off the hook, and it just isn't Bigfoot. What's really weird is Dogman and Bigfoot, they're running neck and neck on people seeing them. And I don't know much about the Dogman thing, but I'm learning as we go because more and more people are seeing them. In fact, I have an older couple that Adolf met, and I'm going to go meet him. I wanted to meet him today, but today was not a good day, and I don't. I got to get a hold of Adolf and see. And like going in the woods with weapons, they're not afraid of weapons, like everybody says. You more spotlight or a cameras. You set those around your camp, they won't come in. But you could have guns, and they'll come right in. They'll even let you shoot at them, and they don't run. It infuriates them, and they'll start hollering and roaring and stuff. But they're not afraid of guns. So I would definitely go with. In fact, I do go packing. Idaho muscle bound Sasquatch. I think they're all muscle bound. At least, hey Winston and Miss Joyce. Hey Joshua, 357 H&H Holland and Holland. I used to have a 300 Holland and Holland Winchester, and a 300 Weatherby Magnum. In fact, the first Bigfoot I ever saw, I had the Weatherby 300 Magnum and a little 9mm. I think I would shoot one if it was attacking me, or a few of them were. But I would also tell them with my mind and with my voice that I was going to, and see what happens. I mean, if they start going crazy, start telling them with your mind and with your voice, that you're fearing for your life, and that you're going to open up. You have guns, and you will use them. Usually they back off. I thought about that now. Hey, Ghost Wolf and Ernest, there's still sightings around Avocado Lake, especially of the Dogman. That's now we used to have we have a friend, or he was a team member for a while. He decided he didn't want to hang out with us anymore, and he left, and I think he got scared. But he had that same thing, he didn't pack a gun, and he was gonna welcome him, and he brought his guitar, and he would go off a ways from the camp and play the guitar for him and stuff. And then one night, he was talking about giving him a hug if they wanted a hug, and they were around. There's at least 3 that that were sounding off. There could be more. Just because you don't hear them doesn't mean they're not there. Like, usually the ones making the noise are getting your attention away from the one that's not making any noise that's behind you. So most everybody I know carries a 44 Magnum up there, Ghost Wolf. But anyways, he started to go out in the woods, and he went out there, and we were watching him. He had a little headlamp on with a red light on it, and I think I got it on tape somewhere. And he went out there, and he was gonna go welcome him and hang out with him and say hi and all that. And all of a sudden, really loudly, it sounded like an elephant was coming at him, right? He was probably about 75 yards away from us, and we could still see him. We could still see his light, and it sounded like an elephant started going after him. And he lost his cool, and he took off running back to us. This is the funniest thing I ever saw, because he was like adamant that he was gonna go hang with him and everything, and then he got out there and they changed his mind. It was pretty funny, watching him run back, because he was nonchalantly going out there, but then, man, he was running back. Hey, Josh. Yeah, 3 trees, man. 3 trees. And within, like, in about an hour, there was 3 trees pushed over. The next day when we went and found them, they were broke these are a little bit bigger around than telephone poles, or phone poles, or power poles, whatever you want to call them. And they knocked them over, and they were probably about ceiling high, 8 feet, busted off 8 to 10 feet. And all 3 of them were broken within an hour the night before, the evening before. They were solid trees. And then we found where they carried one of them over and wedged it into an oak tree, a big giant blue oak, a really giant oak tree. And it had 2 branches branched out like that. And they laid the log of the tree in the middle. They broke the top of it off, so they had a 30-foot, 15-16 inch around, maybe 20 inch around tree, and then they broke all the branches off of it and piled them up in one pile. And okay, that, like, trees don't, when they fall down and stuff, they don't break, the limbs don't break and all fall in one pile. They got piled, and they weren't cut, they were broke. And it was pretty intense. Pretty intense. Hey, Winston and Mark. I never smelled one yet. Mark, I never have. I used to lift weights, and I know the feeling. Like, I'm not really tall, but when you sit by regular people that don't lift weights, you feel massive. Like, I would go in the barber shop and sit down, and you feel like everybody's little wimps, sitting by you. Yeah, it was a big one. There's a really big one. We call him Big Daddy. He's in there, and we've heard baby crying in there. There's more than one. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them in there, and it's pretty thick with them, and they're pretty scary sometimes. Hey, Ernest, on Kings Canyon Road, going towards Avocado Lake. Yep. In 1989, see, there's things going on. There's things going on over there by Avocado Lake in Tybee Valley still to this day. That's where that older couple is that Adolph's gonna take me over and let me meet him. And he met him like a week ago. And The fishermen, they get rocks thrown at them over there. A lot of people have seen the dog man over there as well as the Bigfoot. I don't know. I lost count of the pterodactyl sightings over there. It's almost like it's an area where the veil is thin, or whatever you call what you want to call that, where they can. It's like this area for a long time that has had these things, sightings, and I mean going way back to into the Indian, like 1700s. That there's stories of the local tribes even dealing with the pterodactyls and the Bigfoot and everything over there in that area. It goes way, way back. Jeffrey interviewed you back in 2015. Was it by the Orange Grove? Or is that where you were at? There's no camping over there. It's all day use. But, I mean, it doesn't mean you can't park on the side of the road. Hey, all. I don't even know how to say that last name, but I'll say, hey, all. Ollie. I'm getting it wrong. Pocket Pro Football, what's up? I don't know, like I have heard of when I lived up in the foothills, I heard of the people that lived in the area claim that their the horse's tail and mane were braided, but I don't know about the having sex with it. I don't think anybody I ever knew saw that. So, and I haven't seen it either. But yeah, the camping's out because there's no camping. But it doesn't mean you can't hang. Like we've parked on the side of the road in a pull out area and stayed there all night. No tent or anything. We just stayed up all night and hung out over there. Yeah, I seen some pictures of that recently. Of it didn't have braids, but it had the scratches. Even it had some scratches on its neck. I think that was a real recent one. And the tribes, like some of the tribes around here say they're like protectors of the forest, and also spirit kind of beings that when they pass, they make sure that you make it over to the happy hunting grounds, or whatever you want to call it. And but at the same time, when one's around, they don't let their kids out after dark. The rules come out, like the kids can't be wandering around in the forest, even in the day. That they don't let the kids out at night. So that tells me, there's other things going on with them that besides, being forest protectors and spirit guides, or whatever you want to call that. Yeah. Yeah, the Afghan. Hey, Winston, what's up? Yeah, so like the ones hasn't why hasn't someone done a rape kit on a horse? That's a good question. I mean, I don't know anybody around here. Like, when do you do it? How long does it last? If they are, if you think your horse was, having a good night with a Bigfoot, or a Bigfoot was having a good time with your horse, how long does it last? Like, when you call the vet, is it going to be, all ready? Or is it going to be gone. Yeah, I don't listen to very many people. One is because I don't know what, I watch some of them, and after I watch them for a little while, I think, they start getting in the views, like, gotta have views on your YouTube. So then they start uh, doing wilder and crazier and probably not true things. And I'm not saying they are doing that, but it just seems like it. You know what I mean? You got to build your channel and all that. I don't care about all that. I come to hang out with everybody and talk about it. I'm not a expert on Bigfoot. I get attacked by people all the time, calling me, saying, so because you said that, you know what a Bigfoot says. I never said that. I just say what I've experienced, and I've been at it for 30 years, since '92. I mean, I've been at it for a long time, and I've encountered them a lot, and have video stuff of all. I try to video everything because first of all, it's really hard to get anything on video except for maybe tracks or broken trees and tree structures. But getting them on video is really, really hard. I mean, that is almost impossible. And I don't let the trolls get to me. Mostly see that, like with the DNA, the DNA, we got DNA, and it came. I mean, they didn't believe it at first. They said we contaminated it, and it so we did another test with everybody's DNA, and they took out all the human DNA that we knew of. Right, everybody that was there, all our DNA was extracted or discounted, and we all gave our DNA, and they were able to somehow get our DNA out, and it still came back human. And it came back human on the mom's side, and the dad's side is unknown. And it was mostly human. It was like 97% human, and the rest of the DNA was unknown. Not they don't have it anywhere. They don't know what that DNA is. They don't have it anywhere. So even if you get DNA, it doesn't even matter. For a while there, I was actually trying to bring, uh, proving, besides bringing a body, proving that they exist. And probably bringing a body is the most dangerous thing you ever could do in your life. I mean, if the Bigfoots don't get you while you're messing around trying to, something as big as a horse that weighs, 1,200 pounds, while you're trying to figure out how to get that out of there and messing around, the other ones are going to take you out. Absolutely. I know that for not a pure fact, but I know that you're not going to get away. Maybe if you take some kind of rip saw, battery operated, and like cut a hand off or something, a foot, or take a piece of it, you might get away. But I'm thinking if you're over there messing around, trying to even get a hand off of it, these things are fast, really fast and powerful. So, I mean, if you shot one and you actually got it on the ground, it's down and you know where it is, or you can see it, and you're going to go over there and do something to bring evidence back, once you do, if you're able to even bring back a piece of it besides the whole thing, don't text anyone, don't call anyone, don't tell anyone, don't say anything. Don't even talk about it with your phone right there. Make sure your phone is locked in the trunk in a box with some kind of noise so that it can't hear your conversation. Because I'm telling you, if the Bigfoot don't get you, you're going to be visited by some other people, and you might wind up missing from that too. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's just my experience right there. Yeah, it was really close. You're right, Winston. It was almost all human, and what they're finding is it's on the dad's side is the unknown. The mother's side is human. Does that mean they've been, like the tribes say, for hundreds of years, that they like to take little girls and women? Have they been? Is that how they get away from incest, where they have, they can't interbreed in their own clan, and there's no other clans around that have a different DNA, so they have to go outside of their clan, and the next best thing is humans. And yeah, you don't have to tell the vet anything. That we didn't tell the professor that was doing the DNA for us on the first time, and not until after he was done, and he was explaining to us that whatever DNA that we brought was contaminated by human, and it was mammal. Whatever it was a mammal, but it was contaminated with our DNA. So then we fessed up and said what the DNA was from, and we brought the window in there with the DNA on it, the slobber and snot, and they swabbed it again and took our DNA out. And then they told us that, okay, so whatever it is human with 3% or 3.2%, something like that, of unknown. And if we want to know more, we have to buy the deeper test. Then that was like $13,000. And we had people saying, other Bigfooters and other people saying they would help us do it. All we had to do was send the DNA to them. And then it was like, no, we're not, because all they're going to do is take it and then say they did it. And so we have the vials. They're in the refrigerator. We probably have like 8 vials of DNA still. It's pretty interesting. Man, JC was cool. We interviewed him a lot of times, and we would chat for a couple hours before and after the show. He was a cool guy. Yeah, that's true right there, Mark. True. Yeah, so like if you're gonna look for one, it seems like you guys are all. I'm talking to the people that know. Hi, Lockbeard. What's up? Yeah, true. Just like a chimp. You're right about that. The professor that we used, he was really good in our area. He's world renowned on the DNA thing. I mean, everybody knows him in the DNA world, and he really wanted to do the other test, but he couldn't talk the university into paying for a deeper test on it because it was so expensive. So we would have had to come up with the money, and plus, but then, some weird things happened after that too. Like all of a sudden he was wanting to distance himself from us, and he didn't want to be on camera anymore. The only weird part about the whole thing was the second time that we went in with the windows and everything. He had a little book, and then there was like 6 professors in there that I never met, and each one of them did a different thing, and they wrote it in a book, in a little notebook, of what they did to the DNA. Like one of them was swabbing it, and another one, they all did something different, and they were documenting what they did. And then like a week later, all of a sudden, he was cutting ties with us. Like he want nothing to do with it, and we can't, no more bringing in any more DNA and having it checked and stuff. And see, that's where the government part comes in. Like, I'm sure he was getting grants for something else that he was finding, and they were sending him up on the space station and stuff like that. He was doing these experiments with things, and I have a feeling that he got threatened. He would lose his, lose whatever he was, the funding for all that stuff. So he just stopped, and I don't blame him. I would too. It's not that important, really. That's an interesting thought, Lockbeard. Man, I thought about that, Winston, sending it to like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. Wouldn't that be funny? I wonder what they would do. I wonder what would happen if they realized that they didn't know what that sequence was. Like, it didn't match every sequence, like a totally human sequence. I wonder what kind of message you would get, or if you got knock at the door or something, That's something interesting. Yeah, so far, like, to find the Bigfoot, for those that came in late, start off by looking for sightings in your area. And you could use the BFRO, you could use Google. BFRO is the best one. It's not going to show all the sightings, but if there's one sighting, usually there's more, even though the BFRO isn't showing it. And so you look at those, and then you zero in which one's closest to you in that county, or you make plans to visit each one. And then when you get out there and you're in the area, knock on the tree, take a bat with you, an old bat, like stop at a yard sale or buy a cheap bat, and go out there and find a good tree to hit where it'll echo really good, and then smack that sucker 2 times, and then go back to what you're doing. And it almost always, within 15 or 20 minutes, they're reacting by knocking back, or they start talking, or they start screaming, and they'll carry on for a good 30 or 40 minutes after that happens. It's a good thing. Yeah, JC was a cool guy. He went on a lot of cool things. I still watch videos of his still to this day, still learn from him. And some of the tribes that he was working with, they had some scary stories. Pretty scary. And I'm learning about the Dogman because of all the Dogman sightings around here. He was already dealing with them, and the black-eyed children. So far, I haven't had anything like that, but the Dogman, For sure. For sure. And another thing that I, over the years, okay, this is just experience. This isn't because I'm a know it all. They like beans. They like apples, but they like beans. I don't know why. The first time we left beans out in the camp, they came in and tasted the beans. It would have gave us a bad case of food poisoning, but it still tasted them. I don't know if they could get food poisoning. Some of the stuff they've eaten is a trip, man. It'd probably kill us. It's true, Lockbeard. I know Matt and those guys and hung out with them a little bit, and I don't think that they alter the reports that much as they don't report all the reports. Like the better ones, I think they keep them. They keep them back, so they withhold it from the public. And I've talked to a lot of people that they reported to the BFRO. Some have the reports on there, and some don't. Some of the Bigfoot reports, if it's like an ongoing type thing, where they're habituating on your farm or something like that, they won't put those. And I have a feeling they use them for their own thing, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. All I know is there's a lot of strife in there and a lot of egos and stuff like that, and it's hard to deal with those guys sometimes. And I'm only talking about like the BFRO owners, not the guys that go out and take the reports and stuff. I think they truly are just like me and you. They're interested in it and they're learning about it. And one of the best ways is join up with a BFRO and become a BFRO investigator, and go out. But as far as like going on one of their, I think it's a big scam where you pay to go on an expedition with them, unless you just want to hang out with them. But I know a lot of people that paid to go on those, and I know some people that got tight with them, and then they wound up in the other camp, right? Not the one where the expedition people were. They were in the other camp where they were wood knocking back to the ones in the expedition camp. So something was happening. And when they found out that they didn't realize they were going to be put at that camp, they thought it was like a 2-part expedition type thing. But when they got over there and found out they were the Bigfoot camp, they were Bigfoots, things didn't go well, and a lot of them dropped out. And I still go actually Bigfooting with one of them. Yeah, maybe they do. And they sit around, pull my finger. Yeah. Yeah. The Matt Moneymaker, he seemed like a nice guy, but he was like, he didn't. I actually had a bad experience with all of them. And if it wasn't for Bobo, I don't know what had happened. I might have died. I mean, it was that bad. And I mean, he saved me. I was out in the snow. It was like a foot deep. It was snowing hard for 2 days. We were out there anyways, and they thought I was giving information away with my phone, texting and stuff like that. And my brother he was mad, and he because he thought he got hired by the production company, and he wasn't. So he was calling up the president of all these, cable companies and everything. And then the word got back that he was doing that. And they started blaming it on me. And they wouldn't let me sit in the car. 2 o'clock in the morning, snowing like crazy, freezing my butt off. Everybody else is sitting in the car with the engines running, and they don't have a spot for me. Even though I had a car, then finally he says, okay, you can sit in the car, but you can't turn it on. It was freezing. Next thing I know, Bobo's driving up in a big Suburban with heated seats and let me in his car. And I guess he had got in trouble because they didn't want him driving for some reason. And they're like, hey, you can't have that car, Bobo. And he's like, make me get out of it. He goes, well, okay, you could have the car, but he can't be in that car with you. He's like, make me kick him out. And he cussed him out real good, and he rolled the window up. So, yeah, I don't even know if that's his real name, Money Maker. I always think of him as Money Taker. He doesn't make any money, he just takes money. Bobo is really cool, and from what I understand, him and Cliff, they don't have much to do with the BFRO anymore, and it was right around the time that I was working with them with Animal Planet, and I found out I worked for Animal Planet, but when I signed the contract, I was signing the contract with Ping Pong Productions. And then when I got my check, the check was made out by a company called Snake Oil Productions. And that was all I needed to know. As soon as I seen that, I was like, okay, that all makes sense. Everything makes sense. Snake Oil Productions. Yeah, he's a lawyer. Yeah, trained lawyer. That's true. Mr. Lurks a lot. So what's some of your guys like if you go into an area, how do you find Bigfoot? Like how does some of you guys come across your areas? Is it by word of mouth, or can you select like an area in the country and go scope it out and find them? I think I could pretty much. I mean, I have three different environments, I guess, or habitats that I'm familiar with now, like the high mountains, the low foothills, and the valley floor, where they grow grapes and stuff like that. Yeah, once you get in the air, wood knocks work. Like if you just go in the woods and start wood knocking, if they're there, they'll let you know. They'll reply. But sometimes they don't, and they're still there though. But most of the time, you're gonna get something out of them if you wood knock, especially if you're in an area where nobody's done that, and it's like, whoa, somebody's wood knocking, and it really gets them excited. But if you go in an area where people go all the time and they're trying to do the finding Bigfoot wood knocking or whatever that they've learned, sometimes they don't do anything, but they will come in later. If you're camped, they'll come in later and they'll walk around your camp. They'll throw little rocks, pebbles at your tent. They'll do owl calls. That's their favorite one. And they'll go around your camp. See, because owls don't circle your camp for 3 hours. Okay, usually you'll hear them hooting in one place, and then they'll fly, 100 yards another way, and you'll hear them hooting, but they don't fly around your camp hooting. And usually there's not three of them doing it. But if you start having that, it's the Bigfoot going around your camp, and they're hooting like owls, and they'll usually keep up the owl thing for like 2 hours, and then it kind of they start getting bored with it, and pretty soon it turns to chimp sounds. And almost every time that we had that happen, the monkey comes out later. And I'm not saying they're monkeys. I'm just saying that it just sounds like chimps. It's just interesting. Hi, Bobby Lowe. I used to be on the Paranormal Central. Yes. See that when everything goes silent, usually that means something is around you. And I've had that so many times, even before I knew what Bigfoot was. I mean, there was times when I was young and we were on deer hunts or camping. Well, thank you, Bobby. It's good seeing you too. You look great, by the way. I can see you right now. You've been doing good. Uh, when I was in the growing up, I don't know how many times, I can't even count. I'd have to take my shoes off. It happened so many times to count all the times that everything got quiet, and out of some of those times that it got all quiet, all of a sudden the worst fear I ever had came over me for no reason, no logical explanation. And it would scare me so bad I would take off running. And while you're running, you're like, what are you running for? You didn't hear anything, you didn't see anything. You're running like the wind, scared out of your wits, and I would reason myself to stop, and still did not feel good. So I walked fast to get out of the area. I wouldn't run because I felt ridiculous, even though there was nobody around and I could have ran. I felt stupid. And I don't know how many times that happened to me. And actually, once I had my first encounter with a Bigfoot, all those weird things, things like we would fish these creeks, and then, little fish, but we would fish them, and you could catch 4 or 5 of them, and then wrap them in foil, clean them up, put butter and spices inside of them, and then wrap them up in foil and throw them in the coals, and they would just melt in your mouth. They'd be just delicious. Just little bitty brook trout. But things would hit the creek above me or below me, never right in front of me, never in the one I was fishing, the little pool I was in, but above me or below me. And a couple times as I was walking up or crawling, I crawl up on these pools. I don't do it anymore because I found out I'm allergic to fish, so I can't have it, but anymore. But you crawl up. But as I was crawling up, something would bust out of the bushes. I never saw what it was, but the bushes around the creeks are real thick. And I don't know how many times I've snuck up on something, and I was sneaking up on the fish, not whatever it was that busted out, but whatever it was huge and scared me so bad I turned around and ran away from the whole area. But I mean, we're talking about like when I was like 12, 11, 10, 8, 7, 6. I mean, all those times. We never saw it again. You know what? I was just looking at pictures of that. Let me see if I can find that here. I was just looking at that. Oh boy, I got so many pictures and stuff. I was trying to figure out. I was a little bit late. I wanted to be on by 7:30, but I was a little bit late because I couldn't get the sound to play. At least I don't think the sound was playing. I couldn't hear it. So I'm. Let's see. I know I'm in the right place. I mean, I don't even know. Like, if you could see, I have 5 1 terabyte hard drives completely filled with videos, and I didn't I didn't label them good. I mean, I wish I would have labeled them different because, man, trying to figure out where I'm at and what's going on, it's ridiculous. Like, that's not video, I guess. I wish I would have made it easier to figure out what I'm looking for because, like, I have some that Jeff would absolutely murder me if I shared them. I thought about doing it, because I thought it was funny. Yeah, and I was making fun of him the whole time. Probably why he would get me was because I would. I mean, it was funny, really funny. Let me see. I know he does that. Let me see. Stand by, stand by, and now I can't find it when you know it. The spot. Maybe it was on a different hard drive. Let me see. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff, Joshua. Jeff doesn't really. He has pictures and stuff, but I saved everything. I saved all the shows that we did. He doesn't like that part, but I saved all the shows and at least most of them. There's I did have a hard drive that broke on me, and it was sad because there was probably about 150 shows on it and I couldn't recover them. I even took them in and tried to get them to recover the things. I got drone videos and FLIR videos. I mean, there's nothing that I know of, there's nothing on it, but I don't know that for sure, though, if you know what I mean. I don't know for sure. Well, I guess you have to share a window or whatever. Or a Chrome tab. No. So I'm not sure if. Okay, let me see. I thought you could share pictures. I have no idea. Let's see. There we go. I haven't figured this dumb thing out. I was using a different one and I had it all figured out, but it was still really hard. This one is really easy, but it doesn't work right. Yeah, I miss opening. We opened for Art Bell for a while and got to chat with him and stuff, and I missed that. That we actually got quite a few people following us from that. I mean, we're up to like 270,000 followers, something like that, for opening on the Dark Matter Network. Well, of course, when I'm not under pressure, I can find it. It's almost like every time I click on a folder, it's that folder. Then here I am, and I can't find it to save my life. Isn't that about how it is? I got some pretty cool stuff. Maybe I should just put something up just for to put something up. When you seen the first Bigfoot when you were hunting, did it have a more human or Native American face? I didn't get to see the face. It had a more human body, though, like a really, what would you call it? Uh, like a bodybuilder on steroids. It looked like that. When I first saw it, it looked like it had a big, giant, oversized coat and then a normal hips and legs. So it kind of, went like that. But as the sun rose and it was getting lighter, I started realizing I was looking what I was looking at wasn't a human. It didn't have a coat on. That's what its build was, and changed my life that day. I mean, it absolutely changed my life. I think everyone should go out and look for Bigfoot and try to find him, and maybe have some type of encounter or something like that. I think no matter where you live, they're there. Like Ghost Wolf around his area. I think there's some around there over by the coast, and I would bet money on it. I would love to go over there and see if I can find him over there. But I would bet money that I could find him over there. Okay, so the spot. What was the other name? L. Militant Memorial. That's not it. Well, I don't know where it is. I was just looking at it. I tell you what, though, I will find these things, and I'm going to figure out how to make the audio play, and I'll be sharing some videos soon. I tried figuring it out all week, and I couldn't ever get the audio, at least for me to hear it. I don't know if anybody was, I don't know if anybody was could hear it because I wasn't playing it for people really. A massive hairy aborigine. See, now when I first saw it, I wanted to look at it with the rifle. That's how I alerted it, because I had a 6x18 variable scope, but only I was in an old Ford single cab, and the rifle was a 300 Weatherby. It was really long, had a 28-inch barrel on it. So I mean, I couldn't. There was no way I could. Hey, MD, I couldn't put the rifle inside, and look out the window through the scope. I was banging everything around in there, and it didn't alert him. As soon as I opened the door, that was it. He heard that clunk from the 68 Ford. That was it, man. He alerted, and then he took off running faster than anything I ever seen. Hey, fire dude, what's up? How are you, brother? Yeah, it is scary. Cordero. Did I say that right? Cordero. Yeah, they throw. A lot of times you won't see them. They'll a lot of times you won't see them, but only you'll have the rocks thrown. Like I have a buddy, Ken Gentry, and they were looking for a giant tree, and they really didn't believe in Bigfoot. And all of a sudden, they had like a little bigger than a mush ball size rock come flying through the trees and land right at their feet. And they were all pretty much convinced it's Bigfoot, because where they were, it was like a couple of days hike in. So who was messing with them, right? There wasn't anybody out there messing with them, because they're in a not on a regular hiking trail. They were hiking off trail. So they were just bushwhacking for 2 days and get into this area, and then something starts throwing rocks at them. That is what happens. Hey, bad boy, what's up? I haven't seen a Dogman either. I was with Adolf when he saw a Dogman. It's pretty... I don't know if I want to meet one either. I heard they're not nice. Like I was going to share a video. I don't know if let me see if I could share it. Okay. I don't know if you guys seen, but the Ohio DNR, I want to say that's what they are. Let me find it on here first. See, this is what I wanted to share. We'll see if I can get it up. But this is really interesting.
Loading on my end.
Oh, it has sound.
It was an experience. That's the best I can say right now.
Okay. All right. So then I say share screen, Chrome tab, this one. Okay, let me know if you're hearing, if you could hear this or not.
What I can say right now. So, it's a little after 9, and it's a beautiful, clear night so far. My end. No, it was an experience. That's the best thing I can say. Kind of go hand in hand. Regardless, I mean, I'm not hearing Sasquatch right now. I'm hearing coyotes, so I might as well talk about it. However, many researchers hypothesize that Bigfoot is actually a mimic, and for whatever reason, be it to lure in prey, to lure in food, or to communicate in a covert manner. Oh no.
Hit play again, because we had it.
Yeah, it looks like it's loading on my end. No, it was an experience. That's the best thing I can say right now. What I can say right now.
See, now if you could hear that, you hear the wood knock, and it almost sounds like a rock hit a tree and then bounced on the ground. But it's either a wood knock and his fire popped, some wood in the fire popped that was right next to him. but you definitely can tell something from not right close to him hit a tree. That was this guy's in Ohio, Salt Fork State Park. He's one of the rangers. They do a 4-part series on Bigfoot, and they do the history of it. And I watched all of them. I think everybody should watch them. It's actually one of the first times the government, or it's a state government, but any kind of government has come out and actually, talked about Bigfoot like these guys are talking about him. The only thing that I didn't like about the videos was it was just like any other state government thing. They didn't give the guy a budget or a camera or equipment, so he was using what he had, and he's not good at it. Neither are the two ladies helping him, but it's still interesting. He does slideshows and stuff, and he's at least taking it serious, and he's at least bringing the information that he found, or that he has and found and researched, and then went out on his own, and then comes up with a wood knock on his very first outing. All right, Mike, we'll see you later, man. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys let me see here. I don't know if it shows the name. Let's see.
Hit play again because we had it.
Yeah, it looks like it's loading on my end.
No, it was an experience. That's the best thing I can say right now. What I can say right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that, but
so it's a little after 9.
But you can tell he's from.
It's a beautiful.
Let's see if I can. He's a ranger from Salt Fork Park.
Laptop.
You can see his Ohio State.
Don't necessarily want to apologize. I think it
I don't
turned
know
out
what it
pretty
says
well.
underneath.
I'm relatively new at the the photo editing stuff that we have, and I'm also not a cinematographer, so it's not a masterpiece of cinematography by any stretch of the imagination, but I did my best, and I hope that it is enjoyable. And
yeah, so I recommend everybody go find that and look and watch the 4 videos. I mean, if you're a Bigfooter, it's probably going to be old stuff, and you're going to hear a lot of stuff that you already know, and about people you probably already heard of. But only it's like the first time any government came out and actually did a 4-part webinar on a Bigfoot and how to find him and everything. I mean, he's not hiding anything. I thought it was really good stuff. Really good. Yeah, I might have to get going here pretty quick too. I don't know how to know. I've been going about an hour. But yeah, so like to recap, research sightings in your area. If you want to find Bigfoot, research sightings in your area. Pick out some locations. go scout around. In the evening, do some wood knocks. I wouldn't do anything else but that. And listen. Look for wood structures, X's, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things to look for. You'll know when you see them. It can't be, most of the time, it can't be made by a man, because you can't, without a crane, anyways, because they use things that are bigger than what we can handle. And then camp, if you can, in the area. Once you find those things, like you hear replies from the knocking, then camp there and see what happens in the night. And you can even do like me and Jeff and get an audio recorder, like a Zoom H4n or something like that, H5n, something you could put XLR microphones to. And it's just a recorder, that's all. And then you could put 2 microphones on it and lay the microphones out, get some long cords and put them out like 20, 30 feet away from the tent or your camper. And then record all night into your cell phone or on that. You can record right on the audio recorder, but record all night and then listen back. But a lot of times we lay there and put headphones on. There's a thing you can plug into the headphone port, and then you can plug like 5 sets of headphones in, and we sit there and listen all night long. I usually don't sleep, and you'd be surprised what you hear on these microphones that are out there, especially if you turn the gain up so that you're hearing from farther away. But I would suggest doing all those things. Yeah, his expeditions are real expensive, and I heard they're not that great, really. Like, if you're going to do one and spend money on one, I would see about Matthew Johnson, Dr. Matthew Johnson. I mean, if you're going to spend money on one, go over there and camp out and learn about the Janu. And, I mean, you're not going to get faked out right there, and you'll probably learn a lot of stuff too. I mean, if I was going to do any at all, that would be the one. In fact, I do want to go there. I want to learn about this Janu, and I mean, how they relate to Bigfoot, or are they Bigfoot, or have they been around? Is the Janu the Bigfoot that we've been encountering as a human race for several hundred years, or is this like a new phenomenon, this Janu thing? And they even have a name for the ones that eat people and stuff that I can't remember what the name is, but there's 2 of them, and I'm like, oh, you just freaked me out real good. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, I mean, but if you're going to pay to go, at least go there. You're not getting scammed by Money Taker. I mean, he's going to have you do wood knocks, and they'll be hooting and hollering, and then there's a camp not far away, and they're going to be knocking back and hooting and hollering and wandering in the woods and throwing rocks at you, and it's just people. So, I mean, you're getting taken. I mean, if you think of it like Disneyland, then it might be worth the money, I guess, Yeah. You know what I would do, Trailblazer? Because, it's right next to where you work, and they probably have like cameras and stuff set up out there, and lights and man-made stuff. I think I would try to set up some kind of camera to record and aim it over towards the woods and see if you can, if they'll let you do that, or maybe you can put it on your car or out your windshield or something like that, and just see, if, because if they're already used to man-made things, and there's night cameras that your company uses, like to scan the parking lot and stuff like that, I would see if I could put my own up. Just ask them that you're just interested in wildlife at night coming around. Don't say what you're really doing unless you trust your boss that good. Well, that's what I would want to know, Lockbeard. I would want to go. I talked to the guy. I'm not going to say his name. The one that actually created the portal that they used to save the 23,000 Janu from the dying planet. And yeah, cottontail research. There you go. That's a good one, Ghost Wolf. And he's pretty adamant about them being real. I've talked to him several times for a few hours, and he even claims they healed him of cancer. And then I've talked to several other people that got healed by these things, camping out. They just lay their cot right out in the yard. I mean, it's at his house too. That's what's kind of weird. And these guys were getting healed by these things, and they could feel them and hear them and all kinds of stuff. And I want to know, I'm just interested. It's hard for me to take the word of other people. And it's probably the same with you guys listening to me. Like, you don't have to believe anything I say. Go out and prove it for yourself. I mean, that's what I encourage everyone to do on every last single thing, whether it be what the government's doing right now to everybody in the world and all that. I mean, do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Don't listen to everything everybody says. Really find out. And sometimes you have to go out and hang out with the crazy people to learn some things. You might learn they're just more crazier than you thought. Who knows? Yeah, I think so too. About that. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Yes. I have some great UFO stories. Oh my gosh, you guys. I've talked to a lot of people about UFOs and abductions and all kinds of stuff. I mean, wow. Wow, that's cool, man. See, then you already know they're there. They're already leaving you rocks and feathers. That is, they bring out some marbles. They like marbles. I didn't know that, but they do. I heard they liked marbles, so I put some marbles. They like them. So I would do that. Oh, wow. Who's that? So you guys are the wrenches? Knock out this guy. Everybody has wrenches. Knock him out. Get rid of him. Well, most everybody should have a wrench. They should be able to knock this dude out really quick. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Hey, Patrick, how are you? Thank you, 1B Tech. I knew somebody could handle him. He probably got hit with about 5 wrenches just about right now. I think that's so cool. Oh, man. That is so cool. So I saw something here. When was your last UFO sighting? It's been a while. The last one I saw, and I'm starting to think now that it was one of those balloons. I've been researching these balloons, and they were called Google balloons, but now Google sold the balloons to the government, and they suck up information like cell signals and electronic stuff, right? And they can go against the wind. They can park themselves up at 60,000 feet. And I think it took off from here, and then it sat in one place for 3 hours right over the top of my house. And it looked like a balloon, but only balloons don't sit in one place. But I didn't know about Google balloons then, right? So that was my last one. And I did have another one recently taking the garbage cans out. I saw about 8 orange lights, and they weren't like in an order or anything, but they were all flying really fast right over tree level, and they were swapping places, kind of like one would go faster, and then they flew out of sight, and I didn't see them again. And I just found out the F-117 there's 2 of them, and they were at our National Guard base for like 4 or 5 days, and I'm kicking myself that I like taking pictures. I like the military. I like planes, jets. If I would have known those things were here, I would have been out there with the camera and getting some great shots of them. But I had no idea till after. And oh man, I'm kind of upset that I didn't know. See, I have no idea, Lockbeard, but only it doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, Eugenio, what's up? Yeah, I'll try not to scare you, okay? Actually, the pandemic isn't even really scary. It's not real. It's just the flu. If you go look at the numbers of the people that succumbed or passed away in 2020, it's no different than 2019 or 2018 or 2017. They're just scaring people to scare people. Fear not, man. Fear not. No reason to be feared. They're trying to scare people, and it's all a power trip. That's right, Lockbeard. I mean, they don't scare me, man. I already died once. And death is a really great thing. When you're on the other side, there's no pain. There's things you could do that you can't do in this part, in this life. Hey, that's what I keep on. This is what I always tell my family. Okay, so if this was real, why didn't we see? Why are all the homeless camps still full, right? And how come we didn't see ambulances running up and down the street all day and all night anywhere? I mean, if it was real, don't you think we would have saw that? Now we're starting to see it, and a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm about to say. But if you took the jab, you might wind up in that ambulance ride. I hate to say that, but hey, Michael, what's up? It's okay, and I'm about to go too, man. I'm going way over time. Yeah, they showed it in China. In China, that's where they showed that. it was an attack on our country. Yeah, that's what everybody's succumbing to, is that one. And in fact, I don't have to take it. Like, I have so many things wrong with me, they can't give it to me. That I mean, I could die tomorrow just from you know, the things that are already wrong with me. You know, like if I take that shot, then I'm just about I'll be gone in a week or less, just because of all the things that's wrong with me. I'm sure of it, Lockbeard. I'm sure of it. I am positive that's what happened. And I actually don't fall for the where it came from, their story. Don't fall for that. This thing is patented, and it was created. It wasn't like some accident or some freak of nature or something like that coming from the the vampire bat. It was it was created a long time ago, and there's patents. You can search the patents on it, and you'll trip out. One of the patents for it is called luminosity. Oh man, it's the same name as Satan, and that actually powers whatever is in it. It's what makes people glow, their veins glow and stuff. You can look that up, people's veins glowing, and causes the magnetic thing. But the patent number is 060606, and I'm not making that up. Something like that. It's something like that. Lucifer, yeah. But you can look that up, and the patent number is 060606. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up, right? You can't make this stuff up. It's better than any freaking movie I ever watched. I mean, like, it's like 3 soap operas all put together, and it keeps going and going and going, like, oh my. And it makes you wonder why they want to hide the Bigfoot stuff so much. So is there something the Bigfoots know or have, or we would find out a certain maybe power or something, or something born, something that we were born with that's been suppressed all our life, that by putting in stuff in our drinking water and different things, and we would find out about that because the Bigfoot used it, and maybe then they would lose control. Is that what it is about the Bigfoot, that they got to hide? Hey, I dig Daytona. Man, it's pretty late where you are, buddy. I seen that you used the 9 GoPro 9. I heard the 10, the GoPro 10, not the 9. The 9 sucks, I heard, but the GoPro 10 is pretty good. But only I heard you bought it, or I was watching and you said you bought the 5. The 5 is good, really good, and then you already know how to use it and all that, so. Nice, man. Not very often you walk out of a casino with some money. See, now what is this? What kind of casino? Is it a Vegas casino? Is that the kind of casino? Because I know some secrets to Vegas casinos. Yeah. Yeah, and you're already familiar with it and all that. Oh, in Oklahoma, Cherokee Casino or Choctaw, the Hard Rock. I think they use. You might be able to. you may be able to use some of the tips and tricks that I know about casinos there, because I think they were trained by the casinos, the big Vegas casino interests, and the Mississippi, Atlanta, and if they have a hotel, then the only thing that would be different is maybe their machines might be a little bit tighter than the states that have gambling, like Vegas and stuff like that. So what the secret is, like, if you play cards, you have a better odds just by skill, okay, because it's skill based, but the odds are still in favor of the house by 1%. So it's 51%, and they have 51%, you have 49%, but you can overcome that couple of percent and put the winning part in your favor by skill, or sometimes gut instinct, right? When to get up, like if they change dealers on you or something like that. But the machines, now that's a different story. Those, they're all independent. They all have their own, I don't know how many now. It's been 20 years for me since I've been in the gaming, but they all have their own random generator chips, usually 2 or more. But only you can set the odds inside each machine, okay? So when they set the machine, they will open it up and they'll set the odds. So if you're betting 1 per line, that's the worst odds, the worst. But every time you up the bet, like say now 2 on a line, you bet 2 per line, you increased your odds. The best odds for the machine is a maximum bet. Okay, now, but what that does is it turns a penny machine, a nickel machine, a dime machine, a quarter machine. It turns all machines into dollar machines. Because when you max bet, now even if it's pennies, you're betting a couple of bucks. Okay, so now it's a dollar machine. It's not a penny machine, but it's the best odds. And then there's one other little secret, and that is when you walk in, if it has a hotel, go stand by the front desk and hang out over there. Get a drink, something to drink. It doesn't have to be alcohol, but get something to drink, and then sit down and watch for the jackpots. And if you sit there long enough, like if you sat there for an 8-hour shift, say, and I don't recommend that, but if you did, you would start seeing a pattern develop, because the ones that you can see from the front desk are going to hit more often. I'm not talking big jackpots, the kind that keep you playing, or you can walk away with $500 or $600, maybe $1,300, $1,400. And you don't have to max bet on them because they're set loose. The odds are set looser, because the idea is it's a psychological thing. You go and get in line at the hotel. So this is how fast you'll see the jackpot. That's why I say you don't have to sit there for an 8-hour shift. So say you're going to go stay at the hotel and you're going in and you can't wait to hit the floor, and you go stand in line at the desk and you see this person right over there hit a jackpot, and it's everything, ding, 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 bang, bang, bang. It's all going off and everything. And then you go to the elevator, like you run to the elevator after you get your room, and you're standing at the elevator waiting for the elevator, and somebody right by the elevator hits a jackpot. Okay, are you starting to see the pattern a little bit here? Right? Now you're racing to your room, throwing your bags over there, and then when you get down there, what most people do is they go find a corner somewhere, or go down in an aisle where they're by themselves or something, and they sit down and they donate, because they didn't pay attention. if they would take note on those machines that were doing the little jackpots, they would be sitting there all night long having a great time, because those were set to hit more often, so that people that are in line, or a buffet line, if you know the restaurant, the elevator line, like those areas, you just stand there for a minute and you just wait 20 minutes or so, and one will go off. And if you stand there long enough, you'll start realizing there's like two of them that are going off and going off and going off. Then you have to wait until the person that's on that machine gets up. So I go in and I stand in line and I figure out which one it is, and then I go get a drink and I sit down and I watch, and then I watch until the person gets up. As soon as they get up, I make a mad dash over there and sit down and stick my $100 bill in there, and then I just sit there and have a great time all night. And I usually come home with money. And if you're in Vegas, it works even better. And if you're in old Vegas, it's even better. It's even better. I'll tell you, like Vegas, they have a law. They have to pay back, I think it's like 97% of the money that they take in on the machines has to be paid back out. So they only keep 3%. And a lot of them, they'll advertise like this machine pays back 99%. 99%. And everybody thinks that they're going to win because it's 99%. It has to pay back 99. Okay, it has to pay 99% on the life of the machine. And the life of the machine is 16 billion bets. So if it's a dollar machine, that means $16 billion goes through that machine for the life of the machine. That means it could sit there for 3 or 4 or 5 months without paying any jackpot at all. You hear what I'm saying? Anyways, that's enough about casinos, unless you guys want to hear more. But just remember those little tricks that I just told you. They work, and you'll have a great time. Yeah, that it's the same. You're right, man. You're right. What used to get me was we would invariably, you bring in new machines and they invariably hit the biggest jackpot they're going to hit right off the gate. Like the first 3 days, bam, $10,000, $20,000, $25,000. And then the tribe is like, pull that machine. There's something wrong with it. So then, we go in and we change the motherboard and new random generator chips, put new glass on it so it looks like a brand new, different machine, and then go roll it back out on the floor. And now it hasn't been played. The new motherboard and chips and everything haven't. Bam, like the fifth pull, somebody hits a jackpot, $25,000, $50,000. They're like, get that machine, pull it off the floor. It's like, no, leave it there because it's not going to hit again for 16 billion bets. Like leave it alone. It's going to sit there and collect forever now. I think it's funny, but the psychological thing. Yeah, the airport wins are because they have a lot of people sitting around that, and they're not going to gamble, right? They're broke. They already spent all their money or something like that, or all the money they're going to spend, and they're on a flight. They're waiting for their flight out. And then they start seeing those machines hit. If you find one of those, you could do pretty good too. But not all of them are set like that. You just got lucky and sat down at one of the ones that are set to pay more, at the airport. Yeah, that's how it works. But now table games is a whole different story. Like you can get a book on blackjack, and if you play by the book, you will you could come out of there. You could go in with $60 and come out with several $100 and have a really great time and play exactly like when it says to double down by the book, double down, do it just by the book. Don't get fancy or nothing, do it by the book and you'll have pretty good odds. Yeah, it's pretty hot right now. Hey Marvin, how's it going, man? You found Littlefoot? I got a movie right here, Littlefoot. I got some really cool stuff. My grandkids always want to like open them up, but like, let's see, it's just toys, I don't know how much this one's worth now. Mars Attacks. My grandkids are always trying to like get them from me. Let's see. I got a whole stack of them over here. I got a whole stack of them. I just got this. It's like a little kid book, huh? Yeah. But only then I have these right here. I got these from Jean St. Jean. They have well, this one's not. This is the North American Sasquatch. But these other ones over here, they're autographed. Jean St. Jean, the guy that made them or created them, he autographed them for me. The Horror Hound. Is that what that is? The Horror Hound. I don't know if you could see him very good in there. That's the guy I'm scared of. That guy. Like I would hate to meet that in a dark alley, huh? Then got this one. It's all autographed too. Only this one's the North American Sasquatch right here. My grandkids are always saying, "Open it, open it." I'm like, no, I'm not opening it. I've had them for probably 5 or 6 years. But the Yeti. The Himalayan Yeti. Yeah, one more. This is the only ones I have out. I don't have any storage right now, so I don't have enough room anywhere for it. It's a Rougarou. Oh, if they were chocolate, they would be gone. I would have ate them. I would have ate them already if they were chocolate. Yeah, I got a bunch more stuff. I got posters and signed all kinds of stuff. I got signed books, Ron Moorhead's books. I got lots of stuff. I got more stuff than I even need, really. Bigfoot stuff. It's kind of crazy. When I die, all the grandkids are going to fight over this stuff. I'm going to be looking down, we'll see who wins. Yeah. Well, you guys, I'll be back next. I'm going to try to do Friday and Saturday next week. I tried to do yesterday, and I got the honeydew list, and at around 6 p.m. and I couldn't get done fast enough. By the time I got back in, it was 10 p.m. So I'm going to try to do for Lockbeard. I'm going to try to do Friday and Saturday. If I don't make Friday, I will Saturday. But if I make Friday, I will do Saturday too. And I'm going to try to have some video stuff set up like that. What we found, that thing that came, the alien shadow thing that came out of the tree. I'll see if I can get that. And I'm making a folder and putting them in it. And if this stream software doesn't work, I'm going to use a different software that I know how to use. Because I think it's cool that to share these things. I've been thinking about going and doing an outside one again with the infrared. It's starting to cool off, and I can sit outside and enjoy the breeze. Only I won't be able to go as long unless I run an extension cord or something for the camera, because I'm running totally on batteries on that. The phone and the camera are batteries, and usually the phone goes out before the camera. But I think it's kind of fun to sit outside and enjoy the breeze, and when the sun goes down, turn on the infrared and keep going. I just can't share stuff like that. But, so yeah, like do that. Yeah. I always forget to do that. It doesn't really matter to me, but you guys could do that if you want. I wouldn't mind getting like 10,000 subscribers. There's some stuff that opens up on YouTube after 10,000, and that helps, But I really don't care about that. They don't pay. YouTube doesn't pay hardly nothing. And then I'm so busy, I can't, like, all these people, they make it their work, right? They make their YouTube their job, and they do well. I have some friends doing well on YouTube, and making pretty good money, and their Patreon and their Instagram and their Twitter and they have all this stuff, and they got to keep up with it and everything. I'm disabled. I can't work. If I could work, I would be like YouTubing my ass off. You know what I mean? Only I can't. So I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get your hopes up. I don't want to start doing something I can't keep doing. So I'm going to do my Friday and Saturday, and I'll bring anything that I go out and videotape and edit and bring it back and share it with you guys. But I love all of you guys. I love the camaraderie, the friendship thing. You guys are my family, kind of like. I don't have a ton of friends, so you guys are my friend base and my Sasquatch family, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. You keep my brain stimulated with all the questions and make me think about things sometimes for a whole week, or maybe even 2 weeks. And I love that. And I know every one of you guys are great people. I know a lot of you back for a while, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys. Yeah, for sure, Chris, you are. Oh, I mean, Ghost Wolf. Yeah, you guys are my brothers and sisters. So, but only I always end my video for the last few years. Jeff doesn't. He thinks he's God's gift, and he just got ran over by a truck, and he lived. I mean, lucky. And there had to be an angel keeping him around for something, but you can't be thinking you're all that, like God's gift thing, otherwise the angel won't be there next time. You know what I mean? So I hope he learned something from that. So like, I don't know. You know what? We were talking about that, and She didn't get out of the truck. She stayed in the truck, and so he doesn't really know. And he crawled out of the when he was actually knocked out. When he got hit, he got knocked out, and he was underneath the truck, knocked out. And he crawls out from under the truck, and that was when all the EMTs and everybody showed up, and they quickly strapped him down, to a board and got him loaded up and taken to the hospital because they thought for sure that he was in bad shape. I mean, he was under the truck, knocked out, completely under it. And I think the right front tire ran over his leg even. And that's why he's having so much problems with his leg. But I mean, he lucked out. That he should not be here. I mean, that even the cops are still calling him, asking him if he's okay, because they think something's going to pop up, that they didn't catch. And yeah, he got really lucky. Northern Indiana, up there with my kids. I got some kids in Indiana. And they said they're not moving back anytime soon. Yeah, it probably won't. It probably won't. You're right, Michael. It probably won't. But I don't usually... you can set yourself free. Only really Jesus sets you free. Jesus sets you free. Jesus gives our freedom. Otherwise, we're doomed. We're all doomed without Jesus. So I pray everyone finds Jesus right now, that he comes into your life in a big way and starts a relationship with you guys. And then he blesses. I pray he blesses every single one of you. I pray for blessings in your life, like whatever it is, health, it could be relationship problems, whatever. I hope you get blessed in every aspect of your life, every aspect. I pray that you get things that you need, get taken care of, because God supplies every need. Just trust him. He'll give it to you. He'll take care of you. So I pray every single one of you, and even the ones that come later that didn't see this live, this prayer will stay alive, and be, blessed in your every area, your finances, your health, your relationships, your jobs, your transportation. I mean, every single area in your life be blessed in Jesus' name. And that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm ending it. And pray for me always, you guys. I need it all the time. And I thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you next week for sure.